Today we'll be starting with our second chapter of political science, that is federalism. Federalism is nothing but vertical division of power. When powers are divided between the central government and the state government, it is known as federalism. Federation stands contrast to the unitary form of government. In unitary form, there is only one level of government, and in any case, if there are sub-units, they stand subordinate to the central government. Whereas in federalism, there are two or more tiers of the government. In unitary form of government, central government passes the order to the subordinates. It has its whole control over the subunits and can take decisions for them. But in federalism, both of these governments work independently. As you can see in our country now, the central government passes orders and also lets state government decide what to do and go ahead with what decisions. Features of federalism. First point, there are two or more levels or tiers of government. That is, the power is divided between a central authority, state government, and the local government if it's there. Second, each tier, each level has its own jurisdiction. The area which they will be governing is mentioned in the constitution. Also, the authority, that the power they will be having, is also mentioned in the constitution. The provisions of the constitution cannot be changed by a government individually. It has to be passed in the parliament with certain number of votes. Apart from that, courts have the power to interpret the constitution. In any case the situation arises, there is a dispute between the central government and the state government, they can interpret the constitution and take the decision. Highest court, that is the Supreme Court, acts as an umpire in such cases. Sources of revenue are clearly specified. Obviously, a country couldn't function without money, so its revenue sources are clearly specified. Last and the final one, and also the important one, federal system has dual objectives. First, to safeguard and promote the unity of the country. They have to keep their country together no matter what and maintain its unity. Second, accommodate regional diversities. Even though a country is united, it cannot lose its regional diversities, especially if it is a country like India with a lot of diversities. What makes India a federal country? Through the features that we have studied earlier, we can conclude that India is a federal country. First one, India has divided its power between central government, state government, and also local government. Second point, their jurisdiction is mentioned in the constitution. Third, the constitution has provided power distribution among these governments through three lists, that is union list, state list, and the concurrent list. Apart from these three lists, there is also another list, that is the residuary list. In any case, if there is a subject that is left out or is not mentioned in the constitution due to some reasons, or it came after the constitution was made, it becomes a part of the residuary list. In such case, the government, that is the union government, has powers to make laws on it. In holding together federations, the power is distributed unequally among different states. Such an example is of Jammu and Kashmir. Before Article 370 and Article 35A were abolished, Jammu Kashmir had a different constitution, and also people other than their own citizen couldn't buy land over there. Other than that, union government has control over the matters of the union territories. The judiciary oversees the implementation of constitutional provisions. With it, we can conclude and justify that even though it's not mentioned in a constitution that India is a federal country, in any case of disputes, is the Supreme Court or the High Court that makes the decision and solves the disputes. Also, the government have the power to raise resources by levying taxes, which also is one of the features of the federalism. Power sharing arrangement. Now this arrangement that is made between the central government and the state government, the power that is shared, it cannot be easily changed. There need to be followed certain rules and regulations to do this. First, it has to be passed in both of the houses with two-third majority. Once it gets a majority in the parliament, then it has to be ratified. That is accepted, approved by the legislatures of half of the total states. That is, among the total number of states, half states have to approve that decision. Then it can be further carried on. How is federalism practiced? First point, linguistic states. When our country got independence, that is in 1947, several boundaries were changed. That is, old states were changed and made into new states. This was done to make sure that the people who speak the same language stay together. Apart from this, certain states were created on the basis of culture, ethnicity, and geography. That is, Jharkhand, Nagaland, and Uttarakhand are a part of this. Leaders did have a fear that it would disintegrate the country and even push this for a certain time. But when finally this was accomplished, it strengthened their country and also made it more united. Second point, language policy. No language was given the status of national language. Hindi was identified as the official language, but only 40% of the total population could speak Hindi. So, besides Hindi, 21 other languages were also recognized as scheduled languages. States do have their own official language and still have. English was used for official purposes and was supposed to stop in 1965, but many non-Hindi speaking states opposed it, and after that English is continued to use along with Hindi. Center-state relations. For a long time, India saw a same party was ruling at the center and the state level as well. But after some time, it happened that the state couldn't exercise its powers as autonomous units or independent units. And in any case, if there was a different party at the state level, the center tried to use its power and undermine them, which goes against the feature of federalism. But this situation changed when after 1990 many regional parties start gaining importance. Also, there was a time when no national party could gain clear majority and was left with no option but to make an alliance with the regional parties. Since then, a new culture developed which gave importance more to power sharing and also to the autonomy of the state governments. Decentralization in India. When the power is taken away from the central government and the state government and given to the local government, it is called as decentralization. The idea behind decentralization was, and it had many benefits, which are the problems at the local level could be better solved by them. No one could know it better than them who are living over there. They have they have been living over there and they know where to spend their money more efficiently and manage it effectively. Also, it can also help them to participate in the decision making process directly. Apart from the benefits, decentralization also faced quite a few problems, which were the panchayats and the municipalities worked under the state government. They did not work independently. Second, elections were not held regularly. Third, they did not have their powers and resources to function accordingly or their will. So, certain amendments were made to change the situation in 1992, which were it was now mandatory constitutionally to hold elections over there. Second, reservation was made for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and the other backward classes. Third, at least one-third seats were reserved for women. Fourth, creation of an independent institution was done, that is, State Election Commission was made to conduct panchayat and municipal elections. Fourth, Fifth, the state government are required to share some powers and revenue with the local government bodies. It does vary from state to state, but now the state government was sharing their powers and also their revenues with the local governments. Decentralization was done in the following ways. At the rural local level, it was Gram Panchayat and village. And if Gram Panchayat grouped together, it was known as Panchayat Samiti. At the district level, this Panchayat Samitis all together formed a Zilla Parishad, which was headed by its chairperson At the urban areas, it was divided into two parts, that is municipalities in the town and municipal corporations in the cities. The head is the chairperson in the municipalities and it's the mayor in the municipal corporations.